All right, 10-foot piece of unistrut, a 2-foot wide by 8-foot, 3/4 inch plywood, a handy paddle. What do they call this? But anyway, it's 3/4 inch plywood, and I'm going to use that to get kayaks in and out of my attic. Now that's an attic ladder on the right, and that is a attic lift that drops out of the ceiling for that. At one time I thought about putting a ladder up there, but that will put me at a kind of a wrong angle for that. And coming off here to the side, of course I could come up through the end like that. And also to use the ladder. So I haven't totally decided how I'm going to do that. The ladder, it's got the structure that's already there. This one here, I could, design it for that. But I'm more along the line of letting it go up through that. Now, I don't bring the kayaks in and out a bunch of times, but I will do it a couple times through the year anyway. And so I need some way to get them up there. I got 5 kayaks up in the attic, so I need a way of storing them up there and getting that done. Looks like I got some cobwebs up there in the very back corner. Need to go around and do cobweb eradication. Anyway, so looks like my filter needs to be cleaned as well on my box fan. And need a new bulb up there. Hey, I'm finding all kinds of things that need to get done. So anyway, I'm going to go up and make a kayak rack. I'll take a kayak and I'm going to send it on edge, like right here. And I'm going to make a U-shaped thing that the kayaks can all sit in, that'll have support on it, and then I can put a strap over the top of it where I can winch them up there with a track. So that's kind of what the plywood is for. Probably use a 2x8 or a 2x10 or a piece of something over there to make a sled that will ride up and down into the attic up there. So let me get that figured out, and we'll drop the ladder down and look at it some more. Okay, the dilemma is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kayaks that I need to be able to get out and down. Now, if I bring it from over here, I've got the rack of the entryway of the kayaks. Now, I was been able to get them to go sideways through here, but the blue one's too wide, and they have to be tilted up a little bit to get through there. So I'm figuring if I make a rack that's vertical, like right here, and the kayaks are on edge, and they can ride up into here up to a certain point, and then I can take them off when I get up here and just pull them off. So the main thing is getting them up and down the ladder and not having to fight that opening, because I can still move them around and get them taken care of that way. I've tried various means and methods to getting them up, and through here I've used methods to the rope and the pulleys to get them to come up through this opening here and that way. So I'm trying to figure out a way, that's the least amount of work. These would be nice if they were coming up through here. That way I can just hook onto them and let them go. And then that would be the least amount of work in that respect. So let me go ahead and send this thing down. Of course, I got my drill press in the way when I go through that way. So let me go and look at that. I was going to make a model of this and figure on, how wide this is. So that slot, how wide that is, I need to measure that. Then I need to measure the width of that to keep it from tipping. So that will be the biggest boat, and then the rest of them will kind of fall into the same category. This one's a little bit odd. I got 3 that are very similar, and then the other 2 are not. So, and then again, I got 2 that are just exactly alike, and so I've got 5 different kayaks that I need to figure out a good way to mount them. So, looks like I'm going to need a, for the biggest, is this one. So it's going to have a slot that will at least come up a little past halfway, most likely, so that it can't flip over. And it need to be the thickness of the boat on that side. And either will need to fit to where it goes, in or out. So anyway, so there we go there. And that kind of thing. So I've got a winch and some unistrut. So I'm trying to figure out a good way of getting that up through there. And there we go. So let's just get her done. All right, that's with them opened up. And over here, that side, but then I have to wrestle them a lot more. If I bring them up through here, I won't have to wrestle them so much, and I can stick them all right up there in that area there, which I'm still bent on that. And what I'm thinking about doing is getting the boards that go from this angle right here, taking up to the top there and come back down. And that way I can use this area right here, about 10-12 feet, to get them up on there on that rack and tie them off at the top and the bottom in that U-shaped thing, and then crank them up there. So I'm going to need a 2x4, probably a 2x6 at least, maybe a 2x10 as a rack that I can attach up there at the top, bring it down, and it could be like on a hinge with a pin, so that it doesn't move, and all the way down here to the bottom. So let me see about that. All right, this is bolted in here. I put a 2x4 down in here, put screws in here, put cross member on there, and it's belted to a plate. But anyway, it's pretty strong. I've got 4 screws in it that hold it. If it gets in a jam, it'll pull out, but I don't think it'll get in jam. And then put this on a hinge. That hinge on there. Put all my unilock, or whatever you call this stuff, on there. Made me a little cart down there. I'll get in more in that right now. Just mounted the switch, and I have a remote for this as well. And then I'm going to cover this up and run the power over here to an electrical outlet. So I made a little chase board with a slot in it, cover up the wires, and keep me from tripping over them. So let's get that in. All right, my wife come out the door of the garage, and she come out here and she goes, "What the heck?" So anyway, well, that's my kayak left from this view, and the winches and everything's on there. I'm going to make a sock for the canoe or the kayaks to sit down in on the very bottom, because I tried to do it with straps on the outside, and it was just the kayaks out there in the middle air when it's hanging there, so you can't really get to it. So I need a little sock or slipper that I can slip the kayaks in at the bottom that will ride up, and then of course the keepers that are on the outside. So we'll see what we can do with that. Maybe it'll be a lot of fun. So there we go. All right, yesterday morning I started this project, and it's taking kayaks into the attic and taking them down now. I did add this on there. I needed a sleeve that I could just slip the kayak in and not have any ropes attached to it, except for a lead rope, which is a safety rope that I'll put at the very top. It goes up there on a pulley, and as it's going, I'll use it kind of like for handling the kayaks. Of course, when I get them up to the very top up there, I have to pull them up. That's never been a problem for me, but it's this process of getting them up, you know, here and not dropping them on somebody down below. So, or having to go slamming down into my tools and stuff. So anyway, this little tool right here is on a unistrut, and it's on, rides on a go-kart. I call it my Ranger Mobile extraordinaire. It kind of reminds me of a Ranger Mobile when we were building in the Cub carts and the scouting type deal. But anyway, so I took out some of the weight out of the box. It's not that heavy. It goes up, you know, down. It takes a little bit of weight to get it in there, and you put a 50-pound kayak in it, and you know it'll be sitting at probably about 75 pounds. So I would say the 2x4s and the bolts and that. Anyway, when I'm done with it, that'll just go up in the attic, and it'll just go straight up in the attic and set up there. And when I get ready to offload these, then they'll come back down. Again, going up and down that ladder with a kayak is a pain, and then I've tried to do it through that opening there, and they just fall all over the place. So I need an easy way of doing it. I've got to get one little piece of pipe, 1-inch pipe, stick up here just as a side thing, and that way I can just bring them up here, set them down into this little slipper, and up she'll go, and so we'll be good to go. I did move my winch over into the center and keep the run on it a little bit straighter. So we'll just have to see up there. I have to keep an eye on up there on that sharp edges up there and watch that a little bit. But anyway, there we go. So I've got to go floating a week from tomorrow, and that'll be a good test for these coming in and out of the attic by myself. And there we go. So it takes the work out of trying to get them up that ladder. So, and you know what it cost me. Unistrut, the winch. I'm into it for probably $175 with the winch and everything. So not a lot of money when you consider one backache or 1 3-month period you're pulling your back out. So I do need to get up there and attach my little garage door line and keep it from getting rubbed out. So, but anyway, there we go. And this is an attic lift that goes up in the attic. And of course, you know, it's out of the way for right now. I can have it sitting on the floor as far as that goes. But it's just kind of up out of the way. I can walk underneath it and just barely get underneath it, about 1 inch or 2. So there we go. Light and low, sanded it off a little bit, took the ouch corners off of it so that it isn't grabbing me. We'll see how the single strut does for the kayaks going up and down. So anyway, that was a sheet of 3/4 inch, 2 foot wide by 8 foot long. It was a handy panel. It was like $20. And so then I had to remove my deal down there because I couldn't get around it with my jigsaw to cut those corners, so I moved it down a little bit. But I kept all my widths wide enough to where they're pretty strong. So try to keep that all the same. And there we go. All it does is goes up and down. All right, there it is. I just pulled the keeper bolt out of one end of that track and rolled this up in there, put the safety hitch on it, and then lifted this little basket off of it, the cart, and pulled that up. And of course redid the winch and bolted everything up, getting it ready for solid. And it's tracking straight, so I think I've about got it whipped. So there we go. We'll find out this a little later on this week. All right, we're going to record some video, and first thing we're going to do is get the ladder down, and get the ladder down, pull it down. So let's get that done here. Pull it out right there. Bring it down and let her set. So I've got access to the ladder in my attic right there. I've got this cleared out here. Let me go up here and turn on the light. I just got through adding an electrical outlet back behind there. I just tied into the light fixture. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the battery charger. It's hooked up to that, and I put a deal to control that and that. Then I covered up my loose wire that was over there. So let's go ahead and drop this thing down. And drop it down about right there. And then this is a remount of my winch. I went ahead and just put it up on a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. And then I ran where the hinge is. I ran bolts all the way down through to here. Two bolts that hold the hinge in. Then I ran two 8-inch bolts down in there, and they're hung with wing nuts, and that's tied into that. So now what I need to do is get this little guy right here, and I'm just gonna put that right there for right now. And I need to get my gate or my board here down through there. Now what this is this is a 12-foot long 2x6, and what I have on it is it just goes down through here, and it will ride like that, go all the way down. And I need to put this on a bolt so that I can easily get hold of it. And basically what that does is that goes straight down to the ground, and this has a pin in it right there, and my pin is not being real conducive to coming out, so I'm going to grab my deal. I'm going to put an eye bolt here so that I can kind of have a handle to hold on to this. Anyway, let me get my little hammer and my little deal there and tap that out, because that pin goes into the hinge place. But I have access to the ladder. It's coming up and down, and grab that and that for that. And then this guy right here, as it sits on the ground there, I'm going to put that pin out, put it up there in that hinge right up there at the top. So let me get that done. And again, there's nothing in my ladder to mess me up. So, you know, ladders are dangerous as they are. And of course, that came out there really easy. So the next thing I'll do is I'll take this, pull my winch out of the way there, kind of walk my board over there to the center, and get it to where it'll kind of go out, and walk it out a little bit. It'd be nice to have a real easy way of doing this, but this is the first time I've actually set this up like this, and I might have to come up with a different idea. But anyway, and put the pin through there. All right. very similar to lining the door up. Just get your pin in there. Give it a juggle. It's just like doing a door. It's a little bit of work, but I haven't got an easier way of doing this for not throwing any money at it anyway. And of course, if I had a different screwdriver, that would be easier. Okay, so that pivots in. There's my winch right there. The next thing I need to do, this right here is all nice and sturdy now. It's all bolted in there, so that's not going anywhere. And that end just sits it down on the ground. The next thing I do is I need to put my cart in there. And the cart is just a slip for the kayaks to sit into. And this little trolley right here will fit down in that slot. So the cart is not very heavy. It weighs a little bit, but it's not too much. And all I need to do is get this first trolley fit in there. I have a rope tied onto this for a second hand, so I can just kind of slide it in there, and then down she goes. Then I have the rope held by this going down in there like that, and then I'll put the winch down in there, let that set just for that sake of it. Then I can exercise the winch and turn it on with the button here and then tell it to go out. And if I would have had a little bit of a slack, I would have went ahead and done that. And I can also pull this up like right here and clip it. And then let it down. And now the winch has it. We're going to pull the winch back up, pull it slack, and okay. I'm going to take my safety hook off of there. See how that is? Kind of funny, you put one thing in there to help out, and it becomes an issue sometimes. Okay, so that's set up. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up a little bit. Bring it up to the top right there, and then I'm gonna take my kayak, hook my safety line up to it, like right here, and pull my rope for my safety. And mind you, this is a bunch. I mean, this is for getting 5 kayaks out of for loading it by myself. So there's my safety. I'm gonna try this little guy right here, just because I haven't tried him yet. Put him like right there, and slip that guy down in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the safety on here. This is the first time I've had this one in the spot, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, so it's down there in the pocket, and all I have to do is take it down, which is going out. Okay. Then go down and retrieve the kayak. Down a ladder with basically not too much in the way. Slide underneath here. There's my kayak in the slip. And that's the first time it slipped in there, so I was just curious how it was going to fit. And then down. And take it outside. Disconnect the safety strap. Then over here to the side. Okay. And as you notice, that's got a little bit of a tilt to it. I might need to put a little keeper in there. But anyway, let's go ahead and go on up to the top. Or we can, as far as that goes, bring it up here to the top. There it is there. Going up. And it's ready to receive another kayak. So put these pipes in there so they wouldn't fall out. Take advantage of this guy right here. So let's go ahead and get the next kayak down. And here he is. This is Tippy. Tippy is the toy is for tipping over. And got Tippy full of gear. So let's leave Tippy's gear out of the equation. Okay. And let's hook up the wire for this one's a little bit different than the other one. This has a little bit different fit. Let's bring the device up. Okay. All right. So let's put this down in there now. Okay. So she's down in the sock. There's my safety. Let's go ahead and lower it down. Okay. We'll go down and retrieve that guy. Down the ladder. Take the slack out of this thing so I got a third hand in retrieving it. I can use the rope as well, but pulling it up. Get it out of the sock. Use the pulley to pull it back down a little bit. And let her come on down to the base of the ground. Unhook my safety. Take it out of the socket. Right here. Bump my tripod again probably. And put her over here on top of the stack. Okay. Go up and get the next one. All right. Up the ladder again. Get kayak number 3 down. Now, these little guys are easier to retrieve. They're up over this side. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Bring it over this way. And line up for this. And this one's got the bucket on the end of it, so it's got a little bit higher height restraints. So whether or not it's going to go through there is a good question. It may get cut. I may have to get a chainsaw and cut all this down. Anyway, we'll put the safety on there. We'll see where we're at here. Alright. Let's see where we're at now. Okay. Let's go down the ladder and get this out of here. Guys, so far this is a whole lot easier than wrestling with ropes and trying to get stuff down here and get it untangled and all that stuff, because these things don't have a lot of handholds on them. With that rope being on the top, that does make it a lot better. So there we go here. Unclip that again. Bring this over to the storage area. And then send this back on in. Yep. So that's sweet. I'm going up. Let's go up the ladder and grab the last kayak. This is Sunday morning just before leave for church. So I'm trying to figure out the best way of doing things. And yet, let's see if I can bring it down around this way. We'll do that. I gotta get rid of some climbers, some other stuff. Let's do that. Okay, so everything will fit. Do this direction here. I'll get that down to the next level. Take our safety. Take it up to our guy with our rope. Okay. Put this guy up. Get our slack out. Slip down in our sock. Socks in. Let her down. Okay, go down and retrieve it. Alright. And where's the old hatch? Let that slide down. Pull this off here. Guy right here. Come on around. And storm. Alright. And then to get this to go back up, we'll pull the cart out. Watch this camera here. Pull the cart out, take it off, take the pin out, and store it up in the attic. So let's get that done. All right. Okay, hook up our third hand and pull this right here. I'll let some slack out of this thing so I can pull it here a little bit. Pull that out and bring this up to here. And I have my safety rope. If I can just get hold of the right side. Okay. Okay. Pull my safety rope. Bring her out. Set her up on top of this. So when I get ready to bring these back and store them, they'll store like that. And take this little guy here and bring it on up here. Okay. Then we'll have to just take the pin out. Two of this. All right. Them three back in there like that. Put that on the edge. Like I said, I need to put an eyeball through that. And pull this up in here. Right over there. Okay. Then all I gotta do is switch the 12-volt off. Turn that off. Grab my goods. Turn my light out. Hit my lights. That. And we're good to go. Down the ladder. And back up.